There's a principle I want to talk to you about that involves commitment. And the reason I want to just share this with you is because when I was in my 20s, I was going through a very difficult time in my leadership, and I was really tempted to quit. I was just tired. Nothing horrible had happened. It's just that I was worn out. In fact, it was during that time that I had a friend of me say that there's no two consecutive good days in a leader's life. And I would raise my hand and say, well, that's for sure. Seems like there's a lot more bad ones than good ones. And I was just worn out, worn down, and I just thought, do I really want to keep doing this? And then somebody gave me a quote. And it was a quote about commitment that basically said that commitment is the key. The moment that you commit yourself, then all unforeseen incidents, people, things that can happen that are positive begin to come your way. And basically the whole thought was the fact that nothing comes to you until you commit yourself. Nothing comes to you if you're just going to try, but you're not committed. Nothing comes to you if you're just thinking about it. It's not until you take the action step. It's not until you take the direction do the things start to flow through you. That quote, I laminated and I carried it in my pocket for almost a year. And during the day, I would just have times where I would feel a little bit like, do I really want to keep doing this? And I would pull that quote out, and I would read it, and I'd put it back in my pocket, and it just gave me fuel for the day. And that fuel lasted until I got through that very difficult year of leadership, of which it was a turning point year. It was in that year that I began to understand, I think, the deeper areas and the deeper possibilities and thoughts about leadership itself. It was in that year that I settled the issue of commitment, and I settled the issue of direction. And I came out of that year, and to be honest with you, ever since I've built on that commitment year of my life. The only reason I share that with you is because I have a tendency to think that perhaps in your life, you may be tempted to sometimes just kind of throw your hands up and quit. I'm not saying you should always keep doing what you're doing. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying don't cheat yourself out of the possibility of the potential that's on the other side of commitment. Stay with it long enough to find out if there's any fruit in it. I promise you this, you'll be glad you did. And I have found, and I think you will find also, commitment really is the key.